Hey, it's Marcus Maloney coming to you again, and we're going to be talking about, hey, the chicken or the egg? Well, in our case, as wholesalers, it's the buyer or the deal. So I want to answer the age-old question, what comes first, the buyer or the deal? I get asked this question numerous times, and I always tell people it all depends. So let's go over what it depends means. When you're out looking for the deal, let's just say you want to look for the deal first, there's a few things you have to take into consideration. Finding a deal takes more time. Finding a deal takes more money, and there's different marketing strategies that you have to use in order to find a deal. So you have to do direct mail marketing. You have to do cold calling. You have to do text messaging, driving for dollars, and networking. And building up those systems all take time. So if you have limited time and if you have limited money, then you need to lean towards building that buyer's list. Let's navigate what you need in order to build that buyer's list. So building that buyer's list, you may need a software like PropStream in order to do quick searches on the buyers that bought in that specific area. So let's go, for example, let's just use a zip code of 60617, and you want to find all of the buyers that purchase properties in the 60617 zip code. There are a few ways that you can do it. With PropStream, they make it extremely easy where you can just put that zip code in there and it will show all of the cash buyer transactions that happen within a 3-month, 6-month, or a year time frame. I recommend in this market nowadays to just pull the last 3 to 5 months because things have changed considerably. Once you get the names of those LLCs or the names of those individuals, you can trace those names, get the telephone numbers, and then contact those buyers and say, hey, Mr. Buyer, I noticed you bought a property at 123 Main Street. I have something similar within that zip code, within that area. Would you be interested? So that's one way to find your buyers. Another way is realtor referrals. You can do that same search, look at all of the realtors that sold a property that was fixed and flipped in that zip code. You may ask, Marcus, well, how do I know that it was fixed and flipped? Well, you can look at the details and the finished work of the product by the pictures. You can see if it have new kitchen cabinets, new kitchen counters, flooring, things like that. You know that that property 9 times out of 10 was a flip. And you can look at who was the listing agent. Pick up the phone, call that listing agent and say, hey, you know what? I noticed that you recently listed a fix and flip property in 60617. I may have a potential deal that I would like for you to help me move. And they will 9 times out of 10 call that same fix and flipper in order to get that fix and flipper to buy that deal. So that's another way that you can find those buyers. And then also co-wholesaling. Co-wholesaling is working with a more experienced wholesaler investor that has a large buyers list and just contact them and say, I have a possible deal. Would you work with me on it? And then they can possibly push it out to their buyers list. If you listen to me clearly, what's easier? What should you do first? The deal or the buyer? I suggest always going with the deal. Go with the deal first because finding the buyer is a lot easier to do. Even in this market, in these trying times, finding a deal is always harder than finding a buyer. You can definitely find a buyer just by networking. So this is Marcus Maloney again with your quick tip on what you should do. Should you find the deal or the buyer first? And I suggest finding the deal. Don't forget, if you like this information, make sure you subscribe and also give us a thumbs up and a like on Facebook and follow us on Instagram as well. Go to @aszria.org. Remember, that's @aszria.org.